In just over a month, Android Q will graduate from a beta release to become the full official Android version 10, likely with some kind of obscure sweet treat name attached to it. And there are a lot of great improvements in Q, from privacy and security enhancements to the new system-wide dark theme. But today we're going to talk about the one area of Q which, even with a few short weeks left until release, remains something of a mess. I'm referring, of course, to the new gesture navigation system. Google seems to be at once indecisive about how it should work, yet committed to bringing it to the next generation of Android phones regardless, and the result is something remarkably half-baked for such a mature operating system. So first, a quick primer on how Gesture Nav works in Android Q. Like the iPhone, you have this little tab thing down below which replaces the old home button. Swipe up to go home, swipe and hold to view recent apps, or swipe left or right quickly to hop between individual apps. That's all pretty much okay. It sort of replicates the experience of the old 2-button setup for Android 9 Pie, while trading the simplicity of a button for the extra screen real estate of the tab. It doesn't look great in apps with a black navigation bar, check out this weird half-curved corner here, but that's a minor visual complaint. Not a ton of apps still use that black bar down below. No, the worst part of Gesture Nav in Android Q is the extravagant black tie 5-course dog's dinner that is the new back gesture. To be fair, the back button has been a bit of a mess on Android since, basically, forever. It has to be there for legacy reasons, but it's often hard to predict where it'll take you, even if, like me, you've been using Android since almost the beginning. And also, to be fair, plenty of Android manufacturers have wrestled with this problem as they developed their own Gesture Nav systems over the past year, though somehow pretty much all of them, it seems, have arrived at a better solution than Google. On OnePlus, swipe up from the right or leftmost areas of the screen. On Samsung, similar deal. Even Huawei, whose gestures are closest to Android Q's, limits its back gesture to the bottom 2/3 of the screen. And the reason that's important is because countless Android apps, even some of Google's own apps, use these things, slide-in menus. Sometimes it's also called a hamburger menu. If a swipe in from either side is your back gesture, then how are you supposed to reliably activate one of these sliding menus? Well, Google has an answer, but it's confusing and poorly implemented. The latest version of the slide-in menu allows you to hold and peek at the menu before sliding out to view its contents, and this is bad for multiple reasons. For one, it's just slower even when it works, and secondly, the current implementation of it just does not work reliably. It's near impossible to tell whether you'll be able to go back or just open the menu. And so if you regularly use apps with one of these common types of menus, it's nothing short of maddening. Had these issues cropped up in the first alpha or beta release of Q, then I could understand that. But we're likely at most a few short weeks away from Q's public launch, and very little improvement has been shown in the gesture since they first appeared in Beta 3. The other frustrating thing for many power users will be Gesture Navigation's incompatibility with third-party launchers as of the upcoming 6th Android Q beta, though Google has promised a fix to this in a post-launch patch to the final version of Q. What's also frustrating is how unnecessary a lot of this stuff is. Countless other Android phone makers have shown Google better ways to do Gesture Nav, yet it's still insistent on pursuing an approach that violently clashes with one of Android's main UI elements, while also failing to completely free up the entirety of the screen. To Google's credit, engineering lead Dave Burke says things are still in flux, and that although devices upgraded to Q will be required to have the new navigation system as an option, manufacturers can continue to offer their own navigation methods if they like. Plus, on Pixel phones there's still the option to go back to the old 3-button setup, which, has worked just fine for almost 8 years at this point. The very worst that could happen would be newcomers picking up a Pixel 4 and being completely flummoxed by Google's new bad gesture navigation and ending up returning the phone as a result. If things stay exactly as they are, I think that might end up happening for a few people. So I'm sure I'm not alone in hoping for some serious changes in the final beta release of Q in the coming weeks. Again, it's not clear how much movement we can really expect at this very late stage, but the whole point of the beta process is for Google to gather feedback, and the company can't fail to have noticed how negative the reception has been to this one very crucial part of Android Q. That's it for now. Stay tuned to subscribe for a full coverage and eventual review of Android Q. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.